If you heat your home with a wood or coal burning stove, then simply cleaning or repairing your stove can certainly prove to be a daunting task.
Hey guys, so I had to take my stove apart recently, as you can see. The rack, the piece in the back that holds everything together, decided it wanted to break in half. When it came down to actually taking this beauty apart, I didn't know how to do it, and nor could I really find much information on how to do it. This is a Vermont Castings Vigilant stove. It's about 20 years old, and they don't make them anymore. So I went to the local stove shop. He didn't have parts, didn't have books. I searched YouTube for how-tos. Couldn't find anything. So I dove in and did it the hard way and figured out how to at least get this far. So I figured I would share some information with you guys and show you just how this thing comes apart, how it goes back together, in case any of you need to do the same thing.
You've got all these fire bricks to take out here. The ones in the back, just pull forward and out. The ones on the side, same thing. You might have to slide them up a little bit. If your stove is as old as mine, you may have some broken ones. Believe it or not, that can help make things easier. With your bricks out, this front piece slides up and out easily enough. This holder just pulls right up and out. Now for the most difficult part, removing the individual pieces of the grate. They sit down in this front holder. If you have a poker or anything that you can wedge underneath them, lift them up one by one, gradually slide it under. That's what I used. From there, this piece simply lifts up and out. Then you can release the tension on these, let them sag down, and work each one out from the back. If all you're doing is cleaning your stove, when you get to this point, you really don't have to go to the full disassembly unless it's been a long time since your stove has been cleaned. You've got these little access plates right here, which just slide over and pop right out. And there's one of those on each side and one in the back. Because when I got to this point, it looks like it's impossible to get these things out. You should just pull out. They move, but you can't get the sides out. The reason is underneath all that old ash is a screw. Remove the screw. And then all of a sudden the side is free. This next part is a little tricky. With this side loose, you can wiggle the side plate out just far enough that you can get access to where the rod connects to the back piece of the grate. Remove the handle on the side, wiggle the rod around, and with a little bit of maneuvering you can get the rod to unhook, and then you just pull that straight out. And you're free. This side is notched. It's very easy to get this out. Okay, relatively easy. Pops right out of the side, and you're good to go. But with the screws out and the grate piece out, the sides simply pull loose. And you can lift them right out through the top or even the front of the stove. Remove the Allen screw from the handle on the side of the stove for the damper. Remove the handle, and the damper should now be free to slide side to side. The end of the damper has to pop out of this little spot right here. It goes out towards the back of the stove and then up, at which point, when the handle is off the other side, you can slide the damper towards the wall of the stove, bring this end out and forward, and the damper's loose. Takes a bit of maneuvering. You should be able to get it out. There's not much reason to go that much farther. Maybe just get back in here with a vacuum cleaner. I got a few more ashes I need to take care of. If you don't need to remove the damper, which you probably don't, I would strongly suggest avoiding it. It is a huge pain to get it to go back in place. Now that you've got everything out, you can clean the inside of your stove. Scoop everything out, all the large quantities, with a spoon or anything that you have. I use this. Then get in there with the vacuum cleaner. Make sure you're getting all the little crevices. Get as much of that stuff out as you can. Get in behind there. And once you've got a nice clean stove again, you can get to work on reassembly.
Reassembling your stove is just the opposite of disassembling it. The only real pain is getting all these little teeth back in for the grate. Just got to hold them up, work them in, and then once it's all back together, you're going to have a nice, freshly rebuilt, clean operating stove. Get back to keeping warm.
When reassembling, put the right side piece in, then slide in your back grate. At which point, you use the notched piece of the other side to put it back together. Make sure you have your rod hooked up. I would suggest leaving the screws out so everything's loose so you can maneuver it around.